Nobody sat you down and said, here is how life actually works. Nobody handed you a manual. Nobody said, this is how you find your own voice. This is how you take care of yourself. This is how you stay full of energy instead of running on empty for decades. You got math, you got history, you got rules about how to sit in a chair. But the most important things, the things that actually determine the quality of every single day you live, nobody taught you those. So today, I want to do something about that. What I'm about to share is not new information. Some of it you may have heard before in pieces, scattered across different places. But I want to put it all together in one place in the clearest way I know how, because the world needs it right now. Not just for children, for us, the adults who grew up without it and have been quietly paying the price ever since. So let's begin. Be kind to everyone, including yourself. Not because it makes you look good, not because someone will reward you for it. Because kindness is the energy that keeps multiplying the more you spend it. Everything else, anger, comparison, judgment, it costs you. It drains you. It ages you from the inside. But here is the part most people miss. The kindness starts with you. Not after you earn it. Not after you fix everything about yourself. No, as you are. The same care you extend to someone you love deeply, extend it inward first every single day. And here is the other part. Do not put anyone below you and do not put anyone above you either. Putting someone below you makes you cruel. Putting someone above you makes you small. Neither one is the truth of who you are. Everyone you meet is walking their own path, carrying their own weight, fighting paddles you cannot fully see. Meet them there, eye to eye. Learn to listen to your own voice. This sounds simple. It is not. Most of us have been surrounded our entire lives by other people's voices. Parents, teachers, friends, strangers on the internet, advertisements, news, all of them telling us what to want, how to feel, who to be, what to fear. And after long enough, we stop knowing where their voice ends and ours begins. Your own voice is quiet. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, it just knows. It knows when something is right for you, even when everyone else says it is wrong. It knows when something is wrong, even when everyone else says it's fine. It knew things about you as a child that you have been slowly unlearning ever since. Learning to listen to it, really listen, not just hear, is one of the most important skills a human being can develop. And it starts with giving yourself silence, not as a luxury, as a practice, as a daily return to the only voice that actually knows your life from the inside. Someone else is praying for the life you are taking for granted. I want you to really stop here for a moment. For someone, having eyes to see is a miracle. For someone, having ears to hear is a wish come true. And for someone, simply getting to live after today is already a mystery. There are people in this world for whom waking up tomorrow morning is genuinely uncertain. And here you are, breathing, seeing, hearing, moving, treating all of it as ordinary background noise. This is not a lecture about gratitude. This is a reminder about perception. The difference between a person who suffers through life and a person who enjoys life is rarely the circumstances. It is almost always what they are choosing to see, what they have trained themselves to notice. Suffering happens in the mind just as enjoyment does. So choose enjoyment instead. This is not toxic positivity. This is a radical act of intelligence. You are choosing where to place the most powerful tool you have, your attention. And where attention goes, experience grows. Always, without exception. Stay playful. Forget seriousness. Watch children. Not to manage them, not to correct them, to remember something. They move constantly. They laugh at almost nothing. They get absorbed completely in whatever they are doing. They don't carry yesterday into today. They don't rehearse tomorrow's problems while living through this moment. And we look at them and say, they're just being kids. As if that energy, that aliveness belongs to a phase of life you are supposed to grow out of. Here is what I think. If you are not happier than the children around you, if you have less energy than they do, then something in your expansion has declined. Not because of age, because of what you have been allowing yourself to believe about what adulthood means. Adulthood was never supposed to mean exhaustion. It was never supposed to mean trading your joy for your responsibilities. That was a story someone else wrote. And somehow almost everyone agreed to live by it. That's craziness. Let them move. Let them be loud. Let them express themselves. And while you are at it, let yourself do the same. Seriousness is not wisdom. Playfulness is not immaturity. The most alive, most creative, most genuinely effective people I have ever encountered carry something childlike in them that they have never let go of. Keep it or find it again. It is still there. Energy is everything. Not a motivational slogan. A literal fact about how life works. What food you put into your body, what thoughts you allow to run through your mind, what music you listen to, what conversations you sit inside, what content you consume before you sleep. All of it is energy. And your body, your mind, your life, your reality is built from it constantly without pause. Think about how deliberately most people manage their money. They track it, budget it, think carefully before they spend it. Now think about how carelessly most people manage their energy, giving it to things that drain them, to conversations that leave them hollow, to worries about situations that may never happen, to news that makes them afraid of a world that on most days is offering them something beautiful if they would just look up. Your input becomes your output. What you put into your mouth becomes your body. What you listen to becomes your energy. What you pay attention to becomes who you are. Become aware of your environment, outer and inner, and be very, very selective what you let in. Get into the things that give you more. Stick to them, protect them, and watch what begins to change. Drop comparison completely. This one is serious, more serious than it sounds. Comparison creates division. Division creates judgment. Judgment creates anger. And then war becomes justified. This is not a chain of events that only plays out between nations and armies. And it plays out inside families, inside friend groups, inside your own mind when you look at someone else's life and feel like yours is not enough. The moment you compare yourself to another person, you have stepped out of your own life into a fiction, because you are comparing your full inner experience, every doubt, every struggle, every behind the scenes moment with someone else's outer presentation. It is never a fair comparison. It cannot be. Your life is completely unique version of over 7 billion possible human experiences. There is no other story like yours. And every second you spend measuring it against someone else's is a second you are not actually living it. Accept fully who you are, not as a final destination, as a starting point. This is where you are. This is what you have to work with. Actually, this is what you want to work with, and it is more than enough to build something extraordinary from. Start saying the words you have always wanted to hear. Not from someone else, to yourself. Think about the most loving thing someone has ever said to you. Or the most loving thing you have always wished someone would say. You are so amazing that I want to be with you. I want to look after you. I want to make sure that every step you take is safe and that nothing bad happens to you. I want you to spend time exactly as you like it. I want you to rest when you need to rest. I want you to play when you want to play. I want you to enjoy this life fully, without guilt, without shame, without constantly having to earn the right to exist comfortably. When did you last say something like that to yourself? Say it now. Say it every day. When did you last treat yourself with that level of care? Do it now. Do it every day. Because here is the truth. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. When it is healthy, when it is warm, when it is honest and kind, everything else improves. Not as a side effect, as a direct result. Start loving yourself, not as a reward for getting everything right, as a practice every single day, regardless of how the day went. Love yourself so much that the love pours out of your skin and leaks into the whole universe. This is not selfishness. This is the source. You cannot pour endlessly from an empty cup. But when you are full, when you are well inside, that fullness spills outward into everyone around you, into every room you walk into the world. Did you know that your attitude is everything? Literally everything. Not your circumstances, not your history, not what happened to you or what was done to you or what you were born into. Your attitude. The stance you take toward life. The way you decide to meet whatever shows up. I have seen people with almost nothing radiate a joy that people with everything seem to have lost. And I have seen people surrounded by abundance who are miserable. The difference almost always is not what they have. It is how they hold it. The faster you learn not to complain, not to whine, not to cry about unfairness, the lighter your life gets. Not because unfairness doesn't exist. It does. But because the energy you spend resisting what is energy you are taking away from creating what could be. Take things easy. Not because nothing matters, because fighting with reality is a fight you will never win. The river does not argue with the rock. It simply finds the way around it. And eventually, it shapes the rock entirely. Be the river. You are more than head sitting in a box. Move your body. Play with it. Explore it. It is extraordinary and you have been ignoring it. Do you know how you breathe? Not why, how. The mechanics of it. The different ways of doing it. The way breath can change your chemistry under a minute. The way a single long exhale exhale can move your whole nervous system from alarm into calm. The way conscious breathing has been used for thousands of years to alter states of consciousness, heal the body, and access level of awareness most people never touch. Do you know what is in the air of the specific environment you are breathing in right now? Every place has a different quality. A forest breathes differently than a city. A room full of people breathes differently than an open field at dawn. You are not just inhaling oxygen. You are taking in the entire energy of your environment with every breath. And water is not just H2O, not in the way you experience it. Some water feels alive, some water feels flat, some feels thick, some feels like it is doing something to you the moment it enters your body. These are not mystical claims. These are perceptual facts that most adults have never been given permission to notice. How much are you missing? Because nobody told you to pay attention. Your intention can change reality. We talked in another video about Masaru Emoto and what happens to water when you expose it to different intentions, different words, different energies. The crystals that form from water, touched by love, are breathtakingly beautiful. The crystals from water touched by hatred are broken and chaotic. You are about 60% water. Every word you speak to yourself, every thought you allow to run, every emotional environment you sit inside is doing something to you. Physically, chemically, structurally. And the same is true in reverse. What you put out into the world is doing something to the world around you. We are not separate beings moving through a neutral universe. We are constantly exchanging energy with everything and everyone around us. Your presence in a room changes the room. The quality of your attention changes the person receiving it. The energy you carry into your home, your relationships, your work, it is not invisible. It lands, it shapes things. When enough people realize this, when enough of us begin to live consciously inside this realization, something shifts in the collective, not in some distant abstract future, right now in the choices made today. What is good for you has to be good for others. Because feeling good and enjoying life with full warmth in your chest is how a true paradise on earth gets built. One person at a time. Let it be you. None of this was in the curriculum. Nobody taught us how to love ourselves, how to listen to our own voice, how to manage our energy instead of just our time, how to stay playful without apology, how to feel life instead of just enduring it. And because nobody taught us, some of us have been improvising, doing the best we can with the tools we were accidentally handed, trying to build a life nobody quite so does. How to build. But here is the thing. It's not too late. It was never too late. These things can be learned, lived, practiced, and then, because this is how it works, passed on to the children around you, to the people you love, to whoever is watching you live. Because the most powerful teaching is never the words you say. It is the life you demonstrate. So let me leave you with this. Do your eyes shine when you look in the mirror? Is there a smile? Not a performed, not forced, but real. Because that is the measure, not your income, not your status, not what anyone else thinks of the life you are living. Just that. If the answer is not yet, then this is where we start. The intention game was built for exactly this, for the adults who grew up without the manual and are ready now, finally ready, to write a different story. The link is below somewhere. The free belief kit is there. The book is there. Everything you need to begin is already waiting. All that is required is you. Raise your consciousness. Become aware of who you really are. And live fully, warmly, freely, like the extraordinary being you have always been. Let's play.